You want the scoop on retatrutide? Why it's suddenly everywhere? Why your friend is on it? Where people are even getting it from? Should you try it? Should you switch it from Tirzepatide? Can you take a small dose and come off later? And will you lose muscle if you use it? Today, I'm breaking down all that and more. No confusion, no hype. Just the science behind what's going on. But the quick disclaimer before we start. This is not a medical advice. I am a medical provider, just not your medical provider. So make sure you talk to your provider before starting any medicine. This is for education only. First, for clarity, you need to understand the difference between the current GLP-based injectable and why retatrutide is being called the king of weight loss peptides. The short version is this. We now have a good, better and best version of medications that reduces appetite, lowers inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and now even increases metabolism. That trifecta is what makes retatrutide so interesting. But why exactly? You probably heard that the more weight you lose, the lower your metabolism becomes. Your body adopts, burns fewer calories, and weight loss eventually slows down. Retatrutide appears to change that dynamic. In studies, it increases metabolic rate even while you are losing fat in a calorie deficit. And here is how it works. Reta is a triple-agonist peptide that activates GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors. And let's break that down. GLP-1 drugs activate GLP-1 receptor throughout the body, especially in brain and gut. That reduces appetite and slows digestion. Semaglutide is essentially pure GLP-1 receptor agonist. It works well for hunger control, but it also explains common side effects like nausea and constipation. Then comes Tirzepatide, which adds GIP agonism to the mix. GIP polypeptide is more complex, but in a simple term, it helps turn fat from being inflamed and metabolically stubborn into a fuel that the body can actually access. It reduces inflammation in fat tissue, improves insulin sensitivity, and makes it easier for your body to mobilize stored fat. So why is Tirzepatide often more effective than Semaglutide? Because it tends to cause less nausea and more weight loss. Research suggests that GIP receptor in brain can actually dampen the nausea signals triggered by the pure GLP-1 drugs, Semaglutide. So Tirzepatide hits the stop eating signal while also pressing a don't feel sick signal. Perfect, right? Another fascinating piece is what GIP does metabolically. Activation of GIP receptor causes a temporary increase in energy expenditure, though sometimes called a futile calcium cycle. Basically, calcium pumps inside your cell, starts moving calcium back and forth across membrane, burning energy without producing useful work. It's like reviving your car engine while sitting in neutral. GIP signaling also increases oxygen consumption in brown fat, which can slightly increase resting metabolic rate. So with Tirzepatide, especially early on, metabolism may actually increase despite eating fewer calories. It also increases blood flow to fat tissue, making stored fat easier to break down. That's why studies with GLP-1 alone shows about 15% average weight loss, while GLP-1 plus GIP combination like Tirzepatide often shows 20 to 25% weight loss. More weight loss, less nausea, slight metabolic boost. But now things get even more interesting. Enters Reta or retatrutide. The scientists who designed this molecule deserve serious credit. Retatrutide still relies heavily on GIP receptor activation, but it adds a third pathway, glucagon receptor agonism. You can think of glucagon as a fat-burning signal. In a normal physiology, glucagon is a fasting hormone. When blood sugar drops, glucagon tells the liver to reduce glucose so you don't pass out. But when glucagon signaling is combined with GLP-1 and GIP, something different happens. Because GLP-1 and GIP are pushing glucose into the cell and improving insulin response. Glucagon gets diverted towards its secondary effect, fat burning and thermogenesis. In other words, it increases your resting metabolic output. Glucagon does this through a process called mitochondrial uncoupling. So normally, mitochondria creates ATP, the body's energy currency. But uncoupling allows protons to leak through the electron transport chain, releasing energy as heat instead of stored energy. Your body literally wastes calories as heat. And that's the reason researchers call retatrutide a king of metabolic cheat code. While GLP-1 and GIP controls hunger and insulin sensitivity, glucagon increases metabolic demand. It pushes the body to burn fuel instead of conserving it. Normally, when people diet, The body eventually enters metabolic adaptation, lowering calorie burn to match the lower intake. Glucagon signaling may partially prevent that slowdown, tricking the body into acting like it still need high energy output. It's not exercise in a bottle, but is one of the closest metabolic mechanism we have seen so far. Now let's talk about safety. Very important, especially with any drug. In clinical trials so far, Reta has been well tolerated, but safe doesn't mean side effect free. And since people are already trying to get their hands on it, even though it's still experimental, it is important to understand the risk. The first one is muscle loss. In trial of GLP based medication, up to 40% of the weight loss can be from the lean muscle. That's significant. Muscle is a huge part of your metabolic capacity. If you're losing weight rapidly, you need to prioritize protein intake and resistance training, weightlifting. Very, very important. A good rule of thumb is about 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. Track muscle, not just weight. Losing 100 pounds sounds great, but not if 40 of those pounds were muscle. Second is heart rate changes. Glucagon receptor exists on the heart's natural pacemaker cell. Studies have shown some resting heart rate increase of about 5 to 10 beats per minute. For most people, that may not matter, but for somebody prone to any arrhythmia or tachycardia, it could be very important and can be significant. The third side effect is called allodynia, reported in about 20% of the participants at the higher dose, around 12 milligrams, which is very high dose. Allodynia causes the skin to feel unusually sensitive, almost like mild sunburn. Researchers think that this may be related to glucagon receptor on sensory neurons, which could lower the threshold of nerve activation. May also be due to the very low blood sugar levels. In many cases, it may improve with slower dose escalation. Like other GLP based drugs, there's also a small risk of pancreatitis, though clinical trials showed rate below 0.5%, but there is still that 0.5%. And rapid weight loss itself increases the risk of gallstone, which is something people should keep in mind. Another common question I get is the dosing. In a clinical trials, retatrutide doses were 2 mg, 4 mg, 6 mg, 9 mg, and 12 mg, typically increased every 4 weeks. That gradual titration is likely what future medical dosing will look like. Some people online talks about microdosing GLP medication, taking smaller dose more frequently to reduce nausea and all those stuff. The idea sounds logical because we have tried it with Semaglutide and Tirzepatide, but there is theoretical concern about receptor desensitization. GLP-1 and GIP receptors are naturally stimulated in pulses after eating. The drop in drug level at the end of the weekly injection cycle actually allows receptor to reset and recycle. Constant stimulation through microdosing might speed up tolerance, meaning higher doses are required sooner. This is still a theory, but it's something researchers are watching closely. Another question a lot of patients ask me is whether you can use this medication temporarily and then stop, like once you reach your... The answer is yes, and you should do that. But if the lifestyle change haven't improved metabolic health, weight gain can happen quickly. So the lifestyle improvement while on the medication is very important. That's why medication should ideally be paired with nutrition, resistant training, long-term metabolic habit, regular blood tests, regular follow-up. This will not only help you lose weight, but keep it off for a long time. Next question is, why is it not readily available? The reason is simple. It's still in clinical trial. Some people have access to research peptide, but it's not officially approved for human use yet. Approval could happen anytime, but we don't know the exact time. What we do know is that the retatrutide may represent the next generation of metabolic medicine. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more evidence-based content. I'm Jay Patel from MyFitMed, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a best day.